Kia ora tātou no reira te whare. Tēnā koutou, good evening, honourable members. The House is in committee on the Land Transport, Road Safety and Other Matters Amendment Bill. Prior to the House suspension for the dinner break at 6 p.m, the Honourable Member Sue Moroney was speaking and has 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining to address the House.
Kia ora, Mr Chair.
I would like to the member to seek the call.
Mr Chair.
The Honourable Member Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr Chair, and I will take full advantage of those 2 minutes odd left that I've got left to debate the commencement clause, because I was actually seeking clarification, and I'm hoping the Minister and the Chair responsible for this bill will be able to actually cast some light on this, because it's very confusing. We've got Section 5, for example, which is about the new ways in which drivers can be licensed for an alcohol interlock licence, or a zero alcohol licence, or a limited licence, and they're all new categories. That comes in, it commences on a date...
Order. I'm sorry to interrupt the member. You know, it is a long-standing convention in this House that members should not conduct conversations in the House unless it's necessary to do so, and then only so as not to disturb the proceedings and the member speaking. I call the Honourable Member Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr Chair. So that section that I just referred to comes into force on a date to be appointed by the Governor-General by order in Council, and one or more orders may be made by appointing different dates for different provisions. So that gives us no clue as to what sort of time frame that particular clause comes in. And it's a very important section, because these are the new licensing regime that is brought in by this Act. And yet the very next section, Section 6, comes in 90 days after the date of royal assent, and that is the section that says that drivers are not to exceed specified alcohol limits. So it's very confusing, and I think it's going to be very confusing for the authorities that actually need to operationalise this piece of legislation, because they won't have any idea when they're going to be able to issue these new licences. This commencement clause gives absolutely no clues whatsoever about even roughly when that's going to come into being, because it says that it's going to be appointed by a Governor-General by order in Council, and it could come on different dates for different provisions. So, Mr Chair, it's my contention that we're no further ahead in terms of this commencement clause about when these provisions are coming in. And I think they're really important provisions, because I know that people have, families out there are wanting to know when their 15-year-old's going to be able to sit their licence, or when they're going to have to wait until they're 16. So it's really important for this to be understood.
I call the Honourable Tau Henare.
Mr Chair, this really should be called the recidivist drink driver, we're going to ping you bill. Well, maybe it should be, we're here, the opposition are there, and we'll get on with doing what we were elected to do. Or maybe it should be, we haven't had 10 years and we didn't sit on our backsides doing nothing, but we've only had 2 years, and look where we are now, Bill. Mr Chair, you see, the folly in what we've been hearing from the opposition, sir, that it doesn't fit with any one title that they have given us to debate, sir. And really, there are two issues. There is the issue of the recidivist driver that continues to drink, drive and maim and hurt, and in some cases kill, sir. And if we say that we are going to target those people, that's what the title is all about. That's what the essence of the bill is all about. It's not for Calvin Davis's auntie who has the odd sherry and wanders down on Karetu Road, sir, and gets stopped by Paddy Few or whoever. Sorry? Square gin. Well, square gin. Square gin. I'm sorry. I mean, in Mototo, sir, we don't do anything like that. It's milk out of the cow. But, sir, that's the folly of their argument tonight, sir, is that, we're not doing anything for safety. No, we listened. And in fact, the evidence shows, sir, that most of the people who are a danger to society are two categories, sir. There are two categories, sir. No, that's headhunters. Sir, one is the young person, the new driver, and so there should be zero limit. You're not allowed to drink and drive. Absolutely. No, it's not. Because the lady from Melville apparently, sir, is saying that's loony left, but it's not really. Sir, the other category is the recidivist drink driver. He's the one, and it's normally a he, so I'll use the generic. Well, okay, sexist, okay, I'm sorry, I belong to the National Party and not the gaggle of, the gaggle over there or the I apologise, sir. But those are the two target areas that we are trying to fix up for the community's behalf. So that's what the title of the bill should be called. We will ping you if you continue to do bad in our community. And I've got to say this, sir. That I've heard some violin stories from Calvin Davis and Chris Farfoy, and they're heart-wrenching stories. But I just can't understand why they were trying to blame the minister for what happened to those two. That was the essence of why they used those two stories, sir. And I tell you what, maybe they would have, sir, been alive if those people that caused the accident were actually pinged a lot earlier. That's exactly what this legislation does, sir. That's exactly what that bill does, sir. This bill does, sir. So it puts out there a safety for our community. That's all. And so I have no problem, sir, in standing in this House tonight, sir, and saying the title hits the nail dead smack on the head, sir. And so they can get up and talk about what it could be and what it might be in Fantasyland. But the reality is this. We won. Sit down, move on, let us do what we were elected to do.
I call the honourable member Darian